Anybody think that's a dog running? You know what I mean? Like a Jack Russell Terrier. His legs, a little tail, you know what I mean? His arms. And his fucking head. Look at the head. That looks like a dog's head. With the eye and shit. And the ears. You know what I mean? It's kind of dope, huh? Looks like a little Jack Russell Terrier fucking doing a fucking leap. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
As of writing this commentary, it's Saturday, September 20th, and tourist season up here has begun. Friday after work, driving through Littleton, there was traffic, so they're coming up for this weekend, and then all next week, I'm assuming it'll be chaos that whole week through next weekend. Because I think the information that's out there says that it'll be peak foliage, but I'm also out there chasing the colors and taking in its beauty. Just like I said last year, the excitement for fall is a physical feeling for me. I don't know, it's weird. And this is it. But also, to be honest, it's weird because the feeling of excitement is different because this is the end of September. And I've always known that further up north always gets fall early, but my whole life lived in southern New England. I'm used to peak foliage being mid to end October. This is my first northern experience of early fall. But of course, regardless, I'm out here taking it all in the same. I do miss a crisp walk through the woods with all the trees bare of leaves and the crunchy of footsteps complementing the breeze on your face. It's autumn.
Good morning, you guys. As you can see, I'm up here on the mountain, on the back side of the mountain of where I live. This little back road that kind of drives up, kind of like the back side of town. And man, this is the sunrise. This is right in front of the Kimball Hill Inn, right on Kimball Hill Road, but unbelievable, you guys. Yeah, it's a good way to start off the week. It's a Monday morning, so I think September 8th, I believe it is, so. Here, got the camera rolling. I'm not sure how good the camera's gonna pick me up though, but Yeah, this is definitely peak foliage. This is Saturday, September 27th, and this is peak week. It's pretty much like, yeah, I think it's like 95% peak right now. Yeah, I'm up here at the sunset spot, but it's about maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 in the morning. And the sun's right here coming up. um, yeah, so, this video right here is obviously going to be all about fall and just what it means to me. You know what I mean? And, but it's so weird right now. It's so weird because it's, like I said, it's September 27th, the end of September. And because there's been such a severe drought here up north, the colors turn early, way too early. And I think I was expecting that this whole week was going to be tourist season because I started seeing people coming up. And I think that the tourists missed it because I think the tourist season is kind of relatively every year, kind of the same time. But this year was different because of the severe drought. That I think that like all the tourists that come up here, they probably had their plans booked like far in advance, like all their lodgings, the places that they were staying, the campsites, the cabins, and like all their lodgings were probably booked and planned and paid for. Kind of sort of not late September, but like maybe like the first week of October, maybe the second week, whatever it may be. And that they're like their vacation time, whatever have you. And now it was just completely interrupted because of the drought, and this is it. This week right here, the end of September, is peak. And I think all the tourists, they're gonna miss it. You know what I mean? I think some of them, they're probably getting word that fucking like come now because peak is here, peak is early, so come now. You know what I mean? If you can, you know what I mean. So I think up north, New Hampshire here might actually miss the tourist season because by October 1st, all the colors are gonna be gone. Which is crazy to me though, because like I'm so used to fall, especially peak week, being like second to third, maybe sometimes even the last week of October. Like when you think of fall colors and fall foliage and hunting for colors, you think October. It's synonymous, and it just feels so weird, like seeing fall colors and the peak colors happen so early in late September. It doesn't feel right.
He's like, oh yeah, fine. And I just still going. You need my gum back. Hey, how will you get 5 then? What I missed you.
Just feels weird, it just kind of doesn't feel right, I mean, because it's just what you're used to living in New England your whole life, and specifically like southern New England, like maybe like lower New Hampshire and Massachusetts, where I'm originally from, and it's like I said before, I always kind of knew that up north got color early and whatnot, but even for up north, like this is like way too early, But yeah, like fall, like I can remember ever since I was just a little kid, just something about fall, just what I mean. Something about fall where it's just Yeah, something about fall ever since I was a little kid. Because my birthday is October 27th. I'll be 43 this year, and yeah, it's always been fall colors like this right here, leaves all over the ground. It's always been October that this happens, and every year is different as far as like when peak color hits. I mean, certain things will come about and whatnot, and so which will determine. So every year is different when the colors start to happen and when peak week happens and all that. But generally speaking, it's always been October. You know what I mean? October and fall colors have always been synonymous. So this is just really weird. This is like the first time in my life experiencing fall this early, and it feels weird. I mean, head back down to southern New Hampshire, and I can still experience the fucking fall. You know, I thought about it, and I was just like, well, why don't I just travel back down to southern New Hampshire and experience? So now I can get two falls. I got peak foliage here up north. I travel back down to southern New Hampshire and stay down there because that's where I'm from. So I got plenty of places I can stay, and I get to experience two peak seasons in one October, and that'll be a first for me this whole year, in my whole life. Is experiencing two peak seasons. Ain't that some cool shit? Yeah. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Amazing.
Where'd you put that? I'm gonna put it in the way back. She'll tear that up. She's an asshole.
Yeah, so I just moved out here a year ago, so I'm a transplant. I'm definitely not a local. And sometimes I feel like a tourist because I do a lot of touristy things. So I guess technically, you know. But this place right here is Mid-Acre Farm. It's absolutely beautiful. Like when I say that it's like a physical feeling for me that I get when it comes to like fall and whatnot, it's like that feeling of excitement. You know, when I start to see the colors come in, and then I just get like this a genuine smile on my face, a genuine happiness. You know, it's almost like an excited dog knowing that he's going for a walk. He just starts like wagging his tail, his whole body wiggles, kind of deal. He gets so excited, you know, kind of like that. You know what I mean? This is it though. Like I could definitely tell the colors are starting to fade out a little bit over here. You know what I mean? The colors are beautiful. The colors are everywhere, but they're fading. And we ended up getting a ton of rain the last couple of days, so that's good. It's just gorgeous. You know what I mean? Going down the foggy mountain, going down the foggy mountain. You know, if I were to sum up what fall means to me, is like I can distinctly remember as a kid just like playing in the yard, jumping in the leaves, like the piles of leaves as my parents would rake. You know, and we would help out. We would help rake and jump in the piles and just having fun. And then just that familiar smell in the air, and it just brings me back like, every time. Even now at 42 years old, when fall comes around, you know, just like it's nostalgic for me. Like now, like the colors are all gone up north. It's October 1st today. And, you know, and like I said, it's not just because of the beautiful colors that you get to go explore. You know what I mean? It's not even because of that. I mean, it's more than that, you know what I mean? Like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's been a weird year. As far as just, you know, I don't know, it's weird. You know, I moved up here a year ago, and from what I gather from the locals is that there used to be so much moose out here. And I watched this like documentary about a local guy who's a photographer, and he pretty much went out every single day to photograph moose, and like that's just like what he did for like a living or a passion or whatever. And so he would go out into like the wilderness and he would call moose in, and he was talking about like he could call about like 12 a day when he like, or like any time that he went out, any given day that he went out to photograph moose, he could call in like 12 a day and see 12 a day or whatever. And then now, like, he's lucky if he can call in one a week. So I ended up doing some research, and they were talking about the reason why the moose haven't been around, because the population has dropped, and because of ticks and parasites. The ticks, they're just killing off the moose, and you know, and there was even an incident here with the moose on the trail. One of the 4,000 footer mountains were coming down a mountain, and they called in Fish and Game because there was a moose laying down on a trail. It was still alive, but it was messed up. So they called in Fish and Game, and then the next day, some hikers were going up the trail or something, and then the moose was dead, and somebody was speculating that the severe drought that we had around here played a role in it, because the severe drought just kind of like messed up the vegetation, like the food source for the moose, so maybe it slowly starved to death, possibly. But then again, like, the research that I did talking about the ticks and parasites killing off the moose population. I mean, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's weird like that. I don't know. But nevertheless, yeah. I saw two moose out here since I've been here. Um, I think there was one of them was alive and the other one was dead in the road. I think it got hit by a car and whatnot. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like well, I think and I think I might do some more research as far as like what Fish and Game plan on doing about this situation. I mean, like, what do you do about the ticks and parasites? How do you fight that? You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's beautiful out here, nonetheless. But like I said, I'm not ready for winter already. I'm not. But it's probably gonna come pretty quick. It's already starting to get like below 30 at nighttime. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Took a picture the night we met, while the light turned to night in the fall. Caught off guard by a silhouette, night that I won't forget. Wanna remember it all. Everyone was aware of it. All at once everything was in view. Spinning round in a faded dress, room full of party guests. Everyone's looking at you. And is it really any wonder that there was never any other love? And is it really any wonder that there was never any other love? Looking back on the night we met, when the moon turned to light in the dawn. Getting lost in your eyes again. Don't want this night to end. Wanna remember it all. And is it really any wonder that there was never any other love? And is it really any wonder there was never any other And is it really any wonder there was never any other And is it really any wonder there was never any other
Hey guys. Amazing. This is fucking amazing. Looking over here too.